One of the things that attracted me to EPU was the Divided by Design report and the idea that the way the South is going to be the solution. Just like when we talk about slavery and a lot of the systems that started up, the Civil War, the Confederacy, that started in the South. So it makes a lot of sense that the solution would come from the place that things started at.
And I love what EPU represents about racial and economic equity for everyone. And what has happened is the resources that they have provided for us, especially mayors from small towns. There's no way that our budget would have allowed us to get in touch with these consultants and the books.
I now know that I'm part of a coalition of leaders in the South who are all driven to make our democracy stronger, that we're all working together to dismantle that and to bring about the changes that we want for our kids and for their kids.
To have the intentional direction paid to equity and diversity in our southern states with elected officials, I think is genius.
I think the first part, when you talk about advancing equity and just kind of building communities, you got to stop worrying about who's going to get the credit. And if we can do that and we can have this collaborative effort where we're all doing what we're best at, we're going to raise the level of our communities one person at a time.
I think we can set a good example that, with a heads-up approach to equity, we can use our resources to, make some kind of positive change. And I think that's going to kind of cascade.
One of the forms that white privilege takes is the ability to walk away from the conversation about equity. I would especially urge white leaders trying to address these issues to recognize that the ability to stop working or stop going forward is a privilege that not everyone in your community has, and therefore you have an obligation to not exercise that privilege.
But just like a person who was born and lived and died in bondage as a slave, whose mother before her and children after her still nevertheless dreamed of freedom, we who live in the midst of unthinkable tragedies have a duty to imagine and to till the garden, to create what is barely imaginable into the future that we all deserve.
E Pluribus Unum.
E Pluribus Unum.
E Pluribus Unum.
Out of many, one.
Out of many, one.
Out of many, one.
E Pluribus Unum. Out of many, one.